Expedition. This shit is getting real. If you guys get that reference, I'm very proud of you. Cardi B, look it up. But, good God. Like, what a wild ride tonight. I ultimately went with honesty is the best policy, and being transparent is the best way for me to play the game, because what am I gonna do? Try to lie and then keep track of my lies? I don't have the brain space for that. But I am so glad I got to talk to Mike, my day zero. He is the one person I trust, and I think Mike and Olivia, I think the three of us definitely have a strong alliance. Like, Olivia freaking saved me from elimination when she could have easily sent me home. And for that reason, Danielle also, she saved me. So I definitely will owe her one. But yeah. Like, it's crazy because, Philip was saying, like, connections matter, and, like, all the stuff that he said. And if that was true, he would have made more of an effort to get to know me and talk to me, while we were at, like, Team Kelly, right? Original Team Kelly. And he never did. And this was, like, the first time I was able to talk to him. And honestly, if he had built that relationship with me, I wouldn't have voted for him. I would have had a better feeling about him. But since day one, I've not had a good feeling about him. He is a threat. He is the ringleader of Team Kelly. And now he has, and now I'm for sure, like, he is definitely has an alliance with Mariana. But I'm hoping that my, connection with Jess from day one, because we both knew we were up on the chopping block, will come in handy. I have no idea, because, like, ultimately I voted for her, right? I had to just go where the numbers are. And, it was me or her, and so I'm sure she voted for me. And I hope with that there are no hard feelings, because I did really like talking with her. And so if I can get her to be on my side, then, I think we definitely have the numbers to make it far. But I'm just so glad I have Mike on my side, and I'm really thankful that I have people I can trust and that like me and who I like, because I definitely vibe better with original Team Janet than I do with Team Kelly. I mean, like, my alliance with, Kupini and Bridget is completely gone, right? And, I would have played differently if they were still in. I don't know how, like, I feel about hearing Katie's side about Bridget. Like, I don't know who to trust in that, but it doesn't even matter, right? Because Bridget's not in the game. But Katie is definitely a wild card. She's a poker player. She's very smart. But honestly, I like her so much. Like, even though she is a strong player, like, it's so hard not to like her, dude. Like, can she adopt me? Like, seriously, can she adopt me? She's honestly so cool. But yeah, it is crazy because Philip is coming back tomorrow. I hope there is no hard feelings, because if he tries to, if I'm ever up for elimination, I hope that I can try to, like, game him. But honestly, the way I see it, at the end of the night, I have the numbers on my side. And I definitely know to trust Mike. So I feel really good. I feel super good about this. Also, how the heck did Joshua get that done so quickly? Like, when I was practicing right before the challenge, like, I thought I was doing pretty well and pretty quickly, but whatever. All I can think is Philip has some kind of advantage. Probably he has a full compass, and has exemption, from the next crossroads. And if that's the case, we gotta force him to use it. Because I do not trust that guy at all. Like, notice how he wasn't talking to Haley at all? Like, come on. Like, he just was starting to talk to me today. Like, I don't know. If he had played this game a little differently, maybe I wouldn't have been so easily swayed. But I am definitely the swing vote. I know what role I play now. And I feel like I found my people, honestly. Like, I love Haley. She's so sweet, and I'm so glad I got to talk to her. I'm glad I got to talk to David. I feel like, because I was so, straightforward and forthcoming with everything I knew on Team Kelly's side, like, I feel like I definitely have garnered trust. And that's what matters. And I think I feel better about my position after tonight. I'm worried though. I definitely have a target with Philip though. Like, he is my, arch nemesis in this game. I mean, I hope this doesn't get edited, but to say Philip's got to go or whatever, but I don't know. He's such a good, strong player. Like, can he not be? He's such a threat. It's so concerning because, I know it's either me or him. But I think after tonight, I feel more confident that it will be him because he has proven himself to be a strong player. And also, WTF, the whole, while we were at Crossroads before our voting, he's a strong player, you want to keep me on your side kind of thing. Aren't you drawing more attention to that fact that, you gotta go, son? It's me or you, and, I think it's gonna be you. But, yeah, I don't know. Dude, this game stresses me out so much. I mean, I have so much fun, but man, it is so exhausting. We're only doing this 3 hours a day, 5 nights a week. I cannot imagine when your whole life is like this on the actual show, Survivor. It is so insane. But anyway, enough. I'm just glad that I found my alliance, because I was very worried I was the odd man out, and I just feel like I found my people, and I'm really happy.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of Carl's Confessionals. I'm just sitting here putting a little addition on our shelter. Hopefully the party members will like it and they won't vote me out. So let's talk about last night a little bit. So we won, and we had the night off. Josh actually won and won it for us, but he kind of used the method that I suggested and gave me a little bit of credit for it. So, I mean, shit, I'll take it. Oh, hell. Yeah, right. Anyway, I didn't really take it as the night off last night. I kind of wanted to secure myself, I want to go deep in this game, so I took it as an advantage. I talked to Jess right away, who I had talked to at day 0, and we kind of were stuck in a room together for a while. So and I also had mentioned to her that Kelly had already voted her out, so I think I kind of have her. I think I have Danielle already, because Danielle wants to go deep with me. I think she's a little chaotic like me. I kind of like her. She's cool. Plus, I got her name tattooed on me. So, we got that there. So I might have her. Who knows? Olivia, like I said, I know. And to be honest with you, that's someone I want to go deep in the game with. Josh, I've been with this whole game. That's my boy. That's my guy. That's my guy. And then there's Mariana, who really is just on the outs. She knows that, and I think she'd be a loyal soldier too. I know it looks like, there's a lot of guys getting voted out, and makes me nervous a little bit. But I told you before, your boy's a ladies' man. So, I'm just going to secure my relationships with them, use my social game, and, keep everybody laughing. I have a couple beers, keep everybody laughing, the fun guy. It's all part of the master plan, y'all. I said it once, and I'm going to say it again. I'm just getting started here. I'm about to show you who's going to reign. Oh! King Kong.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Expedition Online. You fickle game. What a crazy game. What an unpredictable game. And it is hard to know how to strategize about what to do next because there's so many variables that are in the game that, I'm not aware of. Information is power, and, I feel like I have more information than most, but I want it all. I want all the information. And the game is going to be crazy because I have a feeling there are advantages all over the place. The biggest conversation I had today that was with Philip, and he filled me in on how compasses work. This could potentially be false, but I believed him, and I kind of have to anticipate this being true. So what Philip said is that when he won the egg challenge, he was gifted half of a compass. And in order to activate the other compass, you have to find someone else that has a half of a compass. And if you find someone else that has half of a compass, it becomes a fully active compass for both people. So both people would have a fully active compass. So that's a bit terrifying because there have been several challenges where people have won and been gifted something. Bambi, boom. Philip, now Joshua, who won the challenge today, and I need to see this video. I'm baffled as to how he did the challenge that I was practicing in under 10 seconds. I don't know how, but it just like plopped it down. And then Philip was right behind him like a second later, and it was like, what? Are you playing a different challenge than me? I thought this was going to be like, a slow and steady, like, if you rush, your towers, you're going to topple. I was playing a different challenge than they were. And I need to see the replay. Play it back. Let me see it. Cause that was crazy. And so I guess Joshua has some sort of advantage now. They're just floating all over the place. I have an advantage that no one knows about. A lot of people suspect Katie having half of a compass, but I don't think anyone aside from Katie and me are aware that I have a full compass. So that is really powerful. And I'm still wrestling what to do with it because obviously if I play it without my close allies knowing, I could lose trust with them because I didn't share that information with them. So if I have to do that, I'm definitely going to really play up the fact that I made a promise to Katie that I wouldn't tell anyone about it. And it'll also explain why I've been really protective of her. I want to keep it secret because Mike, I want to work with Mike, but I don't fully trust him. I feel like he's playing a lot of different angles. I mostly trust him. But I would still say I just have a really great vibe about the thing I'm with Danielle and Haley and Katie. I think that those are actually the three people I trust most in this game. But Mike would probably be next in line. Man. So there are bound to be advantages all over the place. And if Philip really did have half a compass, and if they're activated the way he says, then that probably means he and Bambi activated compasses for each other, which would be disastrous, because if we lose again and we are forced back to Crossroads, what do we do? What do we do if both of them have compasses? If we split the votes, then they would just get to decide who goes home. They just decide. Great. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying if that's what happens. So, fortunately, I have a compass. If they both played compasses, I'd probably play one too. But what if they have an extra vote? What if they... Man, there's so many variables. Ugh. So many variables that you can't always plan for. Splitting the vote is dangerous if one of them has an extra vote, because at Crossroads tonight, instead of voting someone to be deserted, we end up voting someone to the serrated peak. So, I've never been to the serrated peak. I've kind of gathered what happens there from talking to Katie, but the fact that we basically just voted to give Philip a potential advantage is frustrating. We thought he might be switching tribes based on previous seasons, but voting, if he really is getting an advantage from being voted to the serrated peak, I'm not sure that's a twist I particularly like. If he gets a disadvantage, though, I think that's kind of an interesting twist, and would seem more in line with getting voted out, and having the good fortune for this twist to be in place. So, we'll see what happens. But now potentially Philip has a compass and something else. And I voted him out. So he might want to use those advantages against your boy. So that's just great. That's just great. I feel very fortunate to have a compass in my back pocket in case things go crazy. But you can't anticipate everything. You have to prepare as much as you can. But the variables that are potentially out in the game are insane. And aside from some Destiny tokens, none have been played so far that I'm aware of. So the deeper we get in the game, the crazier and crazier Crossroads are going to be. Additional speculations. So I'm thinking most likely that Neil, who was just voted out of the previous tribe, is probably going to be meeting Philip at the serrated peak. We're also really curious if there is another person, if maybe Joshua, who won the challenge, got to choose someone to go to serrated peak, or potentially Philip gets to pick someone else to join him at serrated peak, because the serrated peak historically has been 3 people. 2 people that are still in the game, and 1 person that is now out of the game. From verbiage that was said about the final 12, I'm kind of assuming that the people that were competing and were voting people back in, the exiled team, I think they're done. I think their gooses are cooked. I think those people, Bridget, Bill, and the like, are fully out. That was their one chance to get back in the game, and they did not get the most votes. Jess got back in the game, but I think they're done. But Neil might be starting a whole another thing. Oh, great. I got like cotton balls in my eyebrows. Great. And Neil and Philip are close, so if there's multiple people there, I think Neil's definitely going to give Philip whatever advantage is in there, and then Philip can easily be the most powerful person in the game, which I don't like. No bueno. No bueno. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The stray bullets that could be hitting people, man. This could be an absolute bloodbath with all the advantages that I think are probably out in the game. I would love to have a second advantage. One that I don't feel indebted to another person. Also talking from Katie. So I got this information from Philip about how compasses are worked. And I had a conversation with Katie to try and understand where she got this other half of the compass. Because she got one half from Jess. She knows that she got that half because she and Bridget were at the peak, and Bridget voted out Jess. So Jess is like, duh, I'm giving this to you, Katie. I don't know you, and I'm giving it to you. But then somehow Katie got another half of a compass, and she doesn't know how. She said that it was messaged to her. So if it was messaged to her, that has to come from a mod, because messaging among players is illegal. So somehow she got another half of the compass randomly, and she doesn't know how. Or she's misremembering, and she helped activate another person's half of a compass, like Philip had described. Oh, man. Philip could have easily been lying, though, and making me paranoid about more compasses in the game than there actually are. If I were Philip, I might do that. Man. I don't know what to believe. I know who I don't believe is Bambi. Bambi says that I didn't get anything for winning the scavenger hunt challenge, when they specifically said, like, it's going to go to the last person, even if the two people are in the same tribe. So clearly Bambi has something, and she's not telling anyone, and she's just a bad liar. Bambi has something. I don't know what it is, but Bambi has something. And if that was half of an idol and it works the way Philip does, they might have just activated their idol. Cut. Bambi might have something. Bambi might have half of a compass. And if compasses are activated in the same way that Philip described, then both Bambi and Philip might have a compass. And Philip is coming back. And then next crossroads, it could be two compasses played, and they get to decide who goes home. Wouldn't that be fun? If two compasses are played, a third compass will be played, and it will be for me, and I will deal with the ramifications of playing Katie's compass.
Hey guys, so things have been crazy. I came into the challenge late, but luckily I made it, but I didn't win. But Joshua won and got our party safety. It started out with them letting everybody know that whoever won would let their party be safe, and whoever lost would be going to crossroads, and they would not be able to use any advantages at that crossroads. I'm so happy Joshua won, because there was no chance I was winning. I was just out of it. It was a long day. Going out of it, bunch of chitter chatter. Honestly, my family, a lot was happening, so I wasn't too much in the conversation until everybody hopped out of the room and left me with Mariana, and then I got full into it because, of course, I want to go final two with Mariana, and she has no idea how the idol clues work unless she was playing stupid, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't. So I told her the first idol clue and how to hunt and find I told Mariana how to find a compass, and I don't think she actually knows how to find compasses, so I told her what to say to get the first compass clue and how to find it. I haven't had time to find it, so if she finds it, I'd rather at least one of us have it than nobody. I don't want to help anyone else at this point, so Mariana is the only one I am trusting with that information and hoping that she keeps it to herself as well. Hopefully she finds it, because like I said, I haven't had time. I'm looking forward to what's happening next. I do feel really good. I feel like I'm in a really good spot with a lot of people. But you never know what's going to happen in this game. So I'm just hoping my relationship stays strong and that people still want to keep me in the game. And I'm looking forward to the rendezvous and being at least officially going to be a part of jury if I don't make it to the end, but the goal is to make it to the end. Carl is a character. He's a freaking king. I do not want to take Carl out of this game. I really hope he stays solid to me. Again, he has my name on him, so hopefully he does, and I wouldn't mind going to the end. Carl, me, and Mariana, that'd be solid. So that's where I'm at right now, and look forward to what happens next.
Okay, so did a challenge actually happen tonight? Because I barely did anything, and all of a sudden the challenge was over. So tonight we got with our parties, and they had not sent the challenge video yet, so we did not know what was happening with these cotton balls and toothpicks. However, as a group, we did feel like something was coming, some sort of twist. So finally, we get to the challenge and we learn that individually we're going to be building these towers, but whoever wins for their party, and wins like not being able to go to Crossroads or not going to Crossroads. So we lose in 30 seconds. Go Joshua, I guess. And we go back to camp and the scrambling begins. Clearly we still look good with a 4-2 split, Team Janet to Team Kelly, but like we keep saying, it's not always going to be that obvious. So people start jumping around. I'm talking to Katie for a bit, and she's all for Team Janet. And then I'm talking to Mike, and we're thinking through some things. So we're not allowed to use advantages. And both of us had seen a previous episode of Expedition Online where when this happened, the person didn't go home. So the word that's spreading around camp is that we don't think whoever we're voting for is going home. Our theory is that they're going to the other party because that's what's happened before. So now this is a new layer of strategy where if this person is not going to be out of the game, we need to know where they're going to be and who they're going to be talking to if they're on that other party in the end. I'm leaning towards keeping Philip. What I said was keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I think it would be better to have him on our side. And I wanted to send Bambi over to the other side. I like Bambi. And I didn't feel like it would be detrimental if she was on the other party. So we're talking. I talked to Mike, we're leaning towards Bambi. I talked to David, I tell him about leaning towards Bambi. And then I never get a chance to talk to them privately again, which is really scary. So Crossroads happens and I have no idea what the actual plan is. I end up voting for Bambi, which was not the majority. Philip got the most votes. But he doesn't go over to the other party. He ends up going to the serrated peak until tomorrow. So now we're like, oh gosh, is he gonna get another advantage? Because that guy's been getting tons of advantages. So we don't know what's happening out there. We won't see him until the next challenge. We go back to camp. You can tell it's a little bit awkward because of the way the voting went. Mike asks to talk to me. He wants to make sure that we're good because we didn't get a chance to talk in the end. I'm like, we're fine. We weren't gonna go wrong either way there. But then I talked to Bambi because I want Bambi to know I was not gunning for her. Did not think there was any chance that she was going home. I want to make sure that we were good for the future. We do think a rendezvous is coming very soon. I don't know what it'll look like when all these people are really playing individually. But for right now,
I'm feeling pretty solid with Mike and David. And then I love Katie, and I want her to be around as long as possible too.
Everyone, it's your girl Jess over here from Expedition Online Season 3. Tonight went great. Thanks to Josh, my fellow party member and explorer for the Chuganady tribe, we managed to pull off a win, and we all remained safe tonight and did not have to go to Crossroads. So that was great. I had a great one-on-one conversation with Carl, and I had one with Josh, and both of them indicated that they wanted to work with me, and, well, that's a good for me. So I have like 2 people I can work with for sure. I'd also really like to work with Mariana, but I haven't had any chance to speak with her or Olivia or Danielle alone, so that's a little inconvenient, but hopefully I can talk to them tomorrow and feel where those. So we remained safe and got to hang out at base camp. Early on in the base camp session, Carl asked to have a private conversation with me by the fire, and so we went and had a quick chit chat, and he quickly let me know that he did want to work with me. And I agree, I want to work with Carl too, so we're going to look out for each other, and hopefully he's one of my allies on this party. Then later on, I got to chat privately with Josh, and he also indicated that he'd like to work with me. Also because we both possess a half compass, so we mutually agreed to look out for each other. So I think I have 2 assets that I can work with. I kind of want to work with Mariana too, so tomorrow I'm going to work on talking with her one-on-one and see where she's at. Once I feel out Mariana tomorrow night, I'd like to see if her, me, Carl, and Josh can form some sort of an alliance, because I think the 4 of us are probably the strongest players in our tribe, and, well, I'd like to work with them, so that's my plan for tomorrow. And then as far as Olivia is concerned and Danielle, I'm not sure how to feel about either of them, because I don't know how they feel about me. I'd like to chat with them individually tomorrow too. We'll see. Danielle worries me because her attention span does not seem too focused on our party chat when we're all together. She's constantly having people in her house chatting with her, and she's always on mute, and I don't know how much she's really paying attention to the conversations we're having. That worries me. The thing I want is to work with somebody who's just really not there or present fully, and she really doesn't seem to be there or fully present when we're trying to have our party chats. So out of all the players on my tribe, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I don't know how I feel about Danielle yet. Olivia, I'd like to work with her, but we haven't had a chance to talk, so that's gonna be my goal tomorrow, is to chat with the girls and feel them out and see where their heads are at and what they're thinking. We seem to think that Philip got voted out from the other team. I hope that's the case, because Philip sounds like he was running the show on the other side, so that's a good thing if he did get voted out. We won't know for sure until tomorrow, though, so we'll wait and see. All in all, it was a great night because none of us went home. We had some great conversations. Tomorrow's a new day. Anything can happen. I'm not dumb enough to think that I'm completely safe, but I feel pretty good as of right now. Hopefully tomorrow we'll manage to pull off another win for Chuganady and remain safe, avoid another crossroads, and then, still be in the game, I guess, but I don't know. Anything can happen. If we don't win and we end up at crossroads, the fact that I have a half compass means nothing unless I have a full compass, so working with Josh is extremely important because he has another half. We could potentially keep each other safe if one of us happens to come up as a possible nomination for tomorrow night if we don't happen to win and we do end up in Crossroads. But I do feel pretty confident so far. Tomorrow is a whole new day, and if we don't win, any of us can go home tomorrow night. And since I got voted back into the game, I could be an easy nom for everybody, but they might all really want to work with me, so we'll see, and I can report back more tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good though, so excited to still be here. Thanks for rooting me on, guys. Bye.
So we had Crossroads last night, and we ended up voting out Neil, which was perfect case scenario for me. And with it being a unanimous vote against Neil, that was almost the best thing that could have happened for me. I feel like I've got a really good grip on the game as of right now, and I'm so glad that I'm able to connect with just about everybody in the game so far, other than Bambi, I believe. So that's been a huge plus for my game. And now I'm here. We have Jess on our party, which is a huge advantage for us as well because she's got all the past information. So I made a point to connect with her as much as I could last night and try to get a good feel of, who she is, talk to her a little bit, and have fun with this game. Try to make sure that she feels like she's with me. And I'm hoping to talk to her more because I think that could be a valuable relationship moving on forward. We have exemption coming up, and it seems to be some sort of building challenge. And we have a builder on our party. We have Carl, who does this for a living. So, albeit not with cotton balls and toothpicks, but he does certain stuff. So I think he can learn some tricks or two. I can learn some tricks or two from him, and I'm hoping to use that knowledge to help us in the challenge. And I think it'd be beneficial. I think his skills and our creativity, I think it's a great thing, and that's why I love working with Carl. That's why we're Chicken and Waffles is how we'd put it, our little alliance name. I don't know who's chicken or who's waffles. I hope I'm waffles because I'm a little portly boy. So I like the fluff. And he can be chicken. He seems like his voice is fried and everything. So I think he's chicken and I'm waffles. But I really do love that alliance. I feel like I can have fun with him. I can have a good conversation with him, and I can keep it real between the two of us. Am I going to fulfill that alliance as much as I can? Absolutely. But if there's a time that I have to go after Carl, so be it. That's how the game is played. He understands it. I understand it. And I think he would be less likely to turn against me than I am to turn against him, which is a great alliance member to have. I'm excited for the prospects of what could happen. Carl is somebody who's going to be loud and be very... Well, there's a term that I came up with Mike in a call with Mike, and it's constant Carl. Carl talks a lot. It's no secret. I think everybody sees it. And when you've been on the same party as Carl for the entire game like I have, it's constant Carl. I'm used to it, but not everybody else is. So he could rub some people the wrong way. And I hate to compare him to this, but in the way of like a Philip Shepard would. And I think that's perfect for me because who doesn't want to sit next to a Philip Shepard at the final reckoning? It's not the final reckoning, the final descent. The final reckoning, oh my gosh. I don't know where that came from. Yeah. But anyway, Carl just seems like the perfect ally for somebody like me, and I'm gonna intend to try to keep that. And hopefully that takes me a long way, but we'll see. So we had an individual exemption today. It was still party-based, so the winners, their party still was exempt. and they didn't even go to Crossroads or whatever, but the losing party would go to Crossroads, and this one was special because the losing party would go to a special Crossroads that you weren't even allowed to use any advantages, no tokens, no compasses, no just any kind of form of exemption or whatever. This was the perfect opportunity to give the other party a chance to vote out Philip. Philip is one of those guys that we have a kind of idea that he's going to be a huge threat if he gets any farther in this game. And we had to do something about that. We have no power in who goes home on that party, but we have the power to at least give them the opportunity to do something like that. This was a tough decision for me because I definitely did not want to win a exemption, an individual exemption, especially so close to a rendezvous. I'm typically against winning the first exemption, individual exemption, at a rendezvous because it doesn't bode well for a lot of people who want to become winners. The first person who wins individual exemption typically doesn't win the season, so I'm a little nervous about that, but it's not really individual exemption. I told my party afterwards, I said, hey, I didn't really want to win that. I didn't want the advantage. I don't care about any of that. I wanted to make sure that we were all safe. I did not want to go back to Crossroads, anything like that, which is absolutely true. That is not a lie. Going to Crossroads would have been horrible for my game. And I think it worked out. Perfect case scenario. I'm just hoping that the other party sees the danger that Philip can be and how strong he's going to be in the individual portion of Expedition Online. If they can't see that, that's not my fault. I did everything I could. I won the challenge for my party, and I think it's in their hands now. My hands are scotch-free, and I'm hoping that we won't have to see Philip anymore. A part of me says that the recluse the recluse party is not done, which worries me because we just voted out Neil. We're putting Philip out to, potentially, and having those two people in the game still, or could theoretically come back into the game at some point, could really hurt my chances. Or even them having talks to each other, or being able to communicate with each other and then talk to people that could potentially come back in the game is a huge problem for me. I cannot have that happen. This is part of the game where I have to start figuring out how to maneuver myself in a way that I am controlling, but I am not directing, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to be the forehead or the commander-in-chief, because my name will be out a lot more if there were another serrated edge or anything like that. So that is something that you have to consider, which is not really ideal at this point. So yeah, as far as that, I'm just hoping Philip goes, and life will be good. Life will be really good at that point, and as long as we rendezvous right after that, I think it'll be perfect. I think it will be perfect. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that we get some good news at our next exemption. So yeah, there we go.
I was gonna make another video outside, but it's just too late. My shorts are dirty. Don't care. I also won half of a compass, and as you can tell, I would need another half to make a full compass, which was very interesting because I had to, obviously I won the challenge and everybody knows I got some advantage. So I basically just came out to my party and said, hey, I got half a compass. Everybody knows that's what you're getting if you win some kind of reward, whatever. So we have a feeling that Philip has at least half of a compass. And we come to find out Jess also has half of a compass. She comes out after I say I got this, so she wasn't going to necessarily be transparent about that, but her being transparent after I said something shows that she has some semblance of loyalty to us, because she is willing to share that. with us, which my intention was just to get people to feel like they can trust me and that I trust them, which is not necessarily true. I only really trust a handful of people, but we'll see how that plays out. And Jess also gives us some great information because she told us Katie has a full compass, which I don't really know if she even knows she has a full compass, honestly. I don't think she cares either. And if she does, she could be playing all of us. That's the big topic of this season of Expedition is Katie who she says she is, and is she as crazy as she thinks she is, or we think she is? I think she is. I think she's still a little crazy, but I love it. She's a great storyteller. She's got so much life experience, and I love it. But I do think she's as clueless as she thinks she, or as we think she is. So Jess and I have two halves, which I kind of wish she didn't say that out loud to the rest of the group, because now there's this prospect of, oh, there's an idol, or there's a compass in play. And that's kind of scary, because now I feel like I almost have to discard this so that people don't think that Jess and I are working together, or vice versa. And that's something that we have to deal with now. I think the best case scenario is we just end up burning this pretty soon, so that the farther Jess and I get together, the less likely they're going to vote me out over Jess, because I don't think Jess poses as much as a threat as I will. The reason I also want to work with Jess, not only because she has half a compass, and not only because she is a great human being, a great lady, and somebody that's just fun to be around, that I've found out so far, is because she's got knowledge. She's got knowledge of pretty much all the pre-merge or pre-rendezvous vote outs. And that is an amazing advantage that she has, is she's got information. I don't think she's sharing everything with us, because, I mean, she's giving us the same story repeatedly and consistently, which is very telling. And I don't think it's really showing that she's lying, but I don't think she's necessarily saying the full truth, which I'm hoping she'll be willing to share with me a little bit more. I'm afraid that there's certain people that are getting a lot more credit than I think they deserve. Apparently David has been one pinned to be doing the most, or doing a lot of the work, and I don't think that's necessarily true, so I guess we'll have to see how it goes.
So I'm in Atlanta now. I just got off the red-eye flight. So how about, like, I'm just doing the video a minute ago, and I don't have my speaker thing on so you can hear me? Like, we're a complete knucklehead, taking too many red-eye flights lately, person of mine. But I'm gonna fix it right now with a mimosa and some eggs and some blueberries and watermelon. This is where I spend a lot of my time in the Sky Club. Alright, well, I'm gonna go eat, but before I do, I just want to say that Philip was treacherous. Like, he asks a lot of questions, and, like, he feels like he puts me on the spot, but all he does is get me to tell more crazy stories. And I do that as a distraction. And some of them are, like, they're probably shaking their head. That's why they didn't think I could do the puzzle. I don't know. I'm not sure what my game plan is from here. I mean, it's worked this far, but I don't know how much further it's going to go, because I keep, I guess, like, intimidating people with my poker, stuff. And I basically told them that they can't get anything by me because I raised two sons their age, and I can read people too. So they're like, we need to get her on out of here. And we gotta come up with something for Thursday. I gotta change up somehow. This Philip's hot and heavy on the trail. I can't believe you guys let his ass back. But I'm still going with what Janet said at the beginning. Maybe she changed her mind, I don't know. Maybe she could say something, I'm not. They said she said a little something, but I don't know. Like, who else do we get rid of? Like, he's a pain in the butt. And he's a little fibber too. And, I'm playing with my food. Um, I love Haley and Bambi, they're adorable. And oh yeah, and David, I'm like, what's this where he's like, I think people are after me, I'm gonna have to use the compass. What, did he give that thing away or something, or use it or whatever, and he said he was gonna keep it for me? Now I don't even know if I trust him. I'm thinking to myself, you people don't want to go on my bad side, because at some point I'm gonna have a vote here, and maybe they'll be up against each other at the end, and I'm gonna remember who did me dirty. So, and I forgive, but I have a hard time forgetting, so, I don't know. I'm looking forward to Thursday, tomorrow. Anyway, have a good day off, you guys. Oh, and by the way, I have the confessional from the night before. I just have to edit it. Like, it's too long, so I have to cut it down. Alright, bye. Have a good day.
Hey everyone, it's Mariana with my Day 6 update video. Alright, let's jump into it. So, we had a cotton ball building competition. So before we began the challenge, our party, we all worked together to think of strategies on how to build this structure the fastest. And let me tell you, it was hard to just use one hand. Like, I kept wanting to use both hands. So it's definitely hard to, just use one hand. Carl thought of some good strategies, and ultimately Josh took those strategies and revamped them and made it even faster. So right as I began stacking like my second or third layer, Josh called time, and within like 15-20 seconds it felt like he had it. So I survived Crossroads, or I survived not going to Crossroads. As you've seen, Jess has joined our party. So there's not many Kelly people left. It's just myself and her on our party. So honestly, after Neil went home, I'm thinking, okay, if I don't make friendships with these people, they are about to boot me. So if we went to Crossroads tonight, I'm sure either myself or Jess would have went home. So I'm just happy that I didn't have to go through that. Actually, today was today we had a really good night. I got to speak to a lot of the other Team Janet players. I got to talk to Carl for a long time. I feel good about Carl. My conception about him at first when we entered the game was so much different than what I think about him right now. Like, I hope I can trust him. Still kind of being, wary of him, but at this point I need numbers. I need them to trust me. I mean, I was honest with them. I told them I don't have no compass, I give them all the information. I even gave them my word and voted Neil out. So, and I even promised them, like, hey, out of everyone in the game, so like Josh and Carl, I mean, I already feel good about Danielle and Bambi. I pretty much told them, like, hey, if I can help you in the game later, I will help you, because they saved me. Like, they could have voted Neil out, so yeah. However, the one thing is, like, I'm kind of regretting telling Neil about Danielle. So, like, I hope Neil won't come back, because if Neil comes back, he's going to tell someone about my relationship with Danielle, and that's what I'm worried about. So hopefully he doesn't come back. Yeah. And then while we were at the base camp, Olivia discovered that Philip got casted away. So I guess I'm gonna find out officially, but unfortunately Philip went away for me. However, it seems like he kept dragging my name with him. So I kept reassuring my party, like, hey guys, like, I don't know why he was, associating with me so much. Like, yeah, at the time when we first created Team Kelly, like, me and him probably vibed the best. But like, I'm literally here to play and, make the best strategies that benefit my game. And I'm actually I'm not happy that he left, because he would have been like a good ally later down during the rendezvous. But like, at this moment, like, I mean, I'm just happy I wasn't the one that had to send him, which I probably wouldn't have anyways. But yeah, one of my best friends from the game has been casted away. But I mean, at this point, like, if we both made it to Rendezvous, like, people would have started targeting us together. So I think it's best for my game that both Neil and Philip is gone. So as bad as that sounds, because I really liked both of them. But yeah, hopefully Neil doesn't come back. Also, Danielle told me about a compass clue. So I'm working on figuring it out. Me and Danielle were able to get in we were able to stay in the base camp, just me and her. Everyone else broke out into rooms. And Danielle and I had a great session. I trust her a lot. I really hope that she can trust me, and yeah, I hope she will keep her word. But yeah, we pretty much promised if we find the compass, we'll use it on each other, which I think will be the case for sure. Yeah, so I'm still looking for this compass, and yeah. Other than that, I'm ready for the rendezvous. I'm curious how it's gonna go. I have to work on my Team Janet relationships. I'm gonna hope that there's other cracks and gaps in that team or party, I guess. Because I want to start stepping back a little bit. Like, I'll make my friendships, but like, I want them to attack each other, and I want them to figure out who their targets are and then use me to help get rid of their targets. Like, I hope they will keep me to help them get rid of their big targets. So, well, wish me luck, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, so a lot to debrief for tonight. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can. So the first things first, we come together to talk about the challenge. I decide that I'm going to kind of let people in on my thoughts about it being a rendezvous, because the challenge specifically says that the person who, stacks we've got to stack these cotton balls and toothpicks into a stack, and we have to use all of the materials, and the first one to do that, where the structure doesn't fall over after 5 seconds, wins the challenge. So it sounds like an individual challenge, so immediately I'm thinking it's a rendezvous, and I just start kind of like spouting off that I think that it's a rendezvous, or we potentially could be voting one of ourselves out, that there's individual challenge, but there's a double crossroads. Neither of those were correct. We get to the challenge, we compete for like 30 seconds. We're given 25 minutes, like basically said, like after 25 minutes, if nobody's won, we're just gonna stop, and whoever basically has the best situation, whatever. Joshua from the other party finishes it in like 50 seconds, like not even a minute. I'm like methodically putting the pieces together, like building a really sound base. Nope, he just puts it all together and he's done. So good for him. I was kind of a bit annoyed that it happened to be a Team Janet player, because in the grand scheme of things, you've got Jess over there who literally just came back from being secluded. And so it's like, throw the challenge, vote Jess out. Like, super simple, super easy, right? Nope, Joshua wins in 50 seconds. I mean, Philip was literally like right behind him. So we have to go to Crossroads. We're told that we can't use any advantages. I've watched season 2, I think it's episode 6, and they can't use any advantages. And I want to say it's Gideon gets voted out, but then sent to the other camp. So I immediately tell David, I'm like, I think that we are going to vote somebody into the other party. So I think we should vote somebody weak so that we don't weaken ourselves. That lasted about 3 seconds, because my hope was that it would be Katie. And nothing against Katie. I really, really like Katie. The dilemma that I have with Katie is that she plays like Sean Kay. And what frustrates me about that is that you have no idea. Like, you at least knew where he voted. I have no idea. Like, she literally voted randomly today. And the last time she had to vote, she used her Destiny's token just to avoid having to vote. I mean, I appreciate who she is. I appreciate her amazing personality. I appreciate the fact that I get along with her. I appreciate the fact that she is a blast to be around. She's got great stories. But at the end of the day, she's not playing the game. She's making people feel uncomfortable who are trying to play the game. And that's a strategy in and of itself. That's a strategy to make the dominant players feel like they're doing something wrong, that they're not playing the game properly. Like, it's just a game. Yeah, it is just a game, but it's a game about lying and deception, and you can't tell people that they're playing it wrong by playing it that way. I mean, like, you don't have to play it that way. I get that. But you can. Like, this is the place where you can kind of, try out new things and test out strategies like this and play to manipulate. And yeah, it's for charity, and that's a great thing too. And I'm excited to play for charity. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning for your charity, and you can't win without voting people out. And so to berate people and make people feel uncomfortable or villainous because they voted for you, or because they are voting at all, it's just weird. I'm just not vibing with that type of strategy. I appreciate her strategy. I think that, what she's doing is noble. And I think, if she just wants to enjoy getting to know people and meet new people, I think it's great for her. But I'm not going to beat her in the end if she gets to the end. So I can't let her get that far. So that aside, I really feel like Katie needs to go soon. And I don't want to vote off Bambi. I really like Bambi. I want to work with Bambi. So I go to David and I basically say, listen, what do you think about Katie? He kind of gives me, the spiel. He tells me about how kind of chaotic she is, but that she's loyal. Haley tells me the exact same thing later. That's disconcerting, because that means they both believe that Katie is loyal, and they're persuading me that Katie is loyal. So let's say we vote out Philip. Let's say we then vote out Bambi. Who's next on the chopping block? That's this guy, and this guy ain't going before Rendezvous. So I need to figure something out. So I know that this person potentially could be going to the other camp. So I go to Philip, and I tell Philip, you're going. You're the vote. So they're voting for you. I can't help you. You don't have any advantages to help yourself, so I can't even throw you any sort of bone to make sure somebody else goes, right? So I know you're going, and here's what I'm hoping is going to happen. I said, I'm going to do what I can to change the vote, but would you, are you going to blame me if it's a unanimous vote? I can't change that, right? So I said to him, if Bambi votes for you, I have to vote for you. And he understood that, I hope. Because she did. She voted for him. And so I'm going to go under the impression I'm hoping that when Philip ends up on this other camp, that, I'll be able to kind of pull him back over with me and be like, listen, I did what Bambi did. It didn't seem like we were going to be able to flip anything. She didn't want to vote for Katie. She wanted to go with the numbers. And that's that. So we get to Crossroads. We hash it out. We kind of talk it out. Philip kind of admits that he knows that he's on the chopping block. We vote. And it's 3 votes for Philip, 2 votes for Bambi, and 1 vote for Katie. So Philip voted for Katie, and I know that Katie and Haley voted for Bambi, which leaves Bambi, David, and me, who voted for Philip. So now I have to explain to him how 3 votes ended up on Philip. That I didn't think I was any sort of deciding vote, which is true. I really didn't think that it was going to be that kind of like craziness, because we knew Katie was going to like randomly choose between them. So that it's a 50-50 shot who she votes for. And I assumed that Haley knew that we were voting for I figured that Haley knew that we were voting for Philip. But, you know, there was some other talk, I guess, about voting Bambi, and that was kind of the last name that she had heard. So that's fine. You know, no big deal. I went back to camp after the vote. I went back to camp and basically just told Haley, listen, go talk to Bambi, smooth it over, like, it's water under the bridge, right? So, and I knew Bambi would probably be fine and whatever. So I'm hoping that kind of worked out. However, we vote for Philip. Philip gets to go to Serrated Peak. So we just give him another potential advantage, which isn't a bad thing, because I'm his only hope. So he comes back from Serrated Peak. He potentially has maybe a compass, maybe some other advantage. I'm going to immediately pull him in and be like, listen, I really didn't want to vote for you. I assumed, I made a really good educated guess that you were going to the other camp. And I was fine with that. Like, I didn't want you out of the game. I wanted you over there and to make things a little bit easier over here. I don't know how that's going to go, but basically he gets to come back to our camp. He gets to be on our party still. So he's going to come back with some sort of advantage, something from Serrated Peak, I'm sure. He probably already has a bunch of stuff. He already knows about how compasses work. So I'm just kind of thinking, all right, we need to figure out how I can get his trust back. So I go to him and I tell him that if he's got a compass, he needs to play it if we go to Crossroads. I'm going to vote for Katie. I'm going to try to persuade Bambi to vote for Katie as well. That way, it's 3 votes on Katie, 2 votes on probably Philip, and wherever Katie throws her vote, because she's probably going to throw her vote. Even if Bambi chooses not to vote with me, which I think she would, and she told Haley that she trusts me 100%. Don't tell her that, because now you're a huge target for her to vote out because she wants me to be with her 100%. So Bambi kind of like does a little bit of a grave there, but we'll see how that smooths over. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But basically, Haley told me after Crossroads that she's like, yeah, Bambi told me that like you guys are great, and I'm like, oh no. So I gotta figure that out. But when Philip comes back, even if Philip and I just vote for Katie, and he can play some sort of advantage, Katie goes. I know I'm throwing a vote on Katie. I don't think David and Haley throw votes on me. I think they throw votes on Bambi if they don't vote for Philip. And I don't know what Katie does, because I want to kind of tell Katie, like, listen, Bambi didn't vote for you. Philip did. Like, Bambi didn't vote for you. You should vote for Philip. I feel like I have to get a little devious. I feel like I have to get a little dirty. I'm okay with it. I feel like I need to prove that I'm playing this game. Because Philip is a target. I think Joshua is now a bigger target than he was before. I need to run with the wolves. I need to show that I'm up there too. I think what's great about my gameplay is I've got lots of connections in different places where I don't think everybody else does. I don't think Haley and David have connections to Danielle and Olivia. I know that Bambi and I do. Philip has connections with Mariana, and that's it. But I have connections to Philip. And so I feel like I've got the right connections with the right people, and I'm hoping that Rendezvous will come already so that I can really start playing my game, because that's when my game starts. And I've said it a million times. I just need Rendezvous to get here. This final 12 for 3 days straight, not working out for me. Because the longer this goes on, the more I become a little bit more of a choice. And I can't let that happen. So I'm hoping that when Philip comes back from Serrated Peak, he'll want to keep working with me. If I get a weird vibe from him, I think he'll be straight up with me. I think he knows I'm kind of his only option. David actively went after him. I don't think he's going to get Haley to work with him. Bambi clearly voted for him. Katie's going to come after him now. So his only option is to work with me. So I feel okay with that. I feel like Philip's either going to be the target or I somehow can flip it onto Katie. So that's the hope. Hopefully we don't even have to go to Crossroads tomorrow, which would make things even better. But which means I've only voted out one person in this game so far. So that would be super cool. So we'll see how that works out. But I feel like I'm in a good spot still. I just got to get Philip back and make Katie walk out the door, because if I can make that happen, then I flip the script and I gain the power back. Whereas right now, David and Haley have the power. So I need to regain that power. And Philip's the person that's going to help me do it. So hopefully he comes back with something good.
So we didn't go to Crossroads last night, which was awesome because I feel like we've been losing every single challenge lately. And we also got a lot of time back at camp to get to know each other better, because we went directly from the swap right into the challenge and then Crossroads. So we didn't really have any camp time to really like talk and get to know each other on a personal level. I had a good chat with Carl, just like solidifying our bond in the game, and him saying like he wanted to explicitly like go to the end with me. And he was like, I really hope that you don't have something going on with the girls and you're gonna Black Widow me. And I was trying to like hide my expression, because I was like, yeah, that might be what I end up doing. And he was like, I like, can you promise me that you'll go to the end with me? And I was like, yeah, I promise. But I was like pulling a Surrey Fields and I was like crossing my fingers the entire time. Because truthfully, I have options right now and I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Like, I don't want to get Carla anytime soon. And like, I intend to keep him as an ally. But I also really want to get a girls thing going with Danielle and Mariana and Bambi and possibly Haley, possibly Jess. I really like Jess. I'm so glad she's back in the game. And I also, like, on the other side, I have Carl. He's saying that his ride or die in the game right now is Josh. And Josh is someone that I'm cautious of. Like, I've trusted him until this point, because he has voted with us and done, like, exactly what he said he was going to do. But going into the Rendezvous, it's a really, really different game, and everyone sort of like re-examines like their priorities, who they're loyal to, and how they can best play their individual game. And I don't know how to feel about Josh going into the Rendezvous, and I wouldn't be opposed to getting him out sometime soon. So that's the only thing I'm worried about with Carl, because I definitely don't trust Josh as much as Carl does. But yeah, I think it's great that going into the Rendezvous, or what I assume today is going to be a Rendezvous, Team Janet has such a big lead over Team Kelly, and I also have Mariana and probably Bambi and maybe Jess on my side. So hopefully I don't get targeted in the first Rendezvous vote. But I really don't know what's going to happen, because at this point, when everything is individual, Team Janet probably isn't going to stick together and just take out the 3 Team Kelly right away. I mean, we could, but I don't know if it really makes sense for everybody, because it might be more beneficial to start like examining threats in our own group and seeing what's going on there. I know David is definitely a threat for my game. He's very good socially. He's a good talker. He's good in challenges. And then if for some reason they didn't vote out Philip last night, which I really think they did because they would be really stupid not to, he's definitely also someone that I have to look out for. But yeah, I'm really excited to have made it this far. I'm hoping I can start doing well in some individual immunity challenges. And yeah.
So I got voted out, but not really. So I got voted out, but I was able to go to Serrated Peaks. And what people don't know is that I was given a disadvantage that I can put on somebody else. And so I put it on David because David, out of the group, I think is a very strong player, but also not on my side. And I think because we probably have a little bit of a similar game, but at the same time, he's not going to know that. So that's a pretty big advantage to me. So if we do somehow lose the challenge tomorrow, which I'm not planning on doing, then he loses a vote. And my plan is to get Bambi and Mike on my side, and then David's out because we have 3, and then they'll only have 2 votes. And I think that'll, hopefully get me pretty safe. So unless I can't convince Bambi and Mike tomorrow, which I should be able to, then I'm sitting in a pretty good position actually. So I didn't think it was a smart move for them to do what they did, with the strong inclination that I was either going to go to the other team or still be in this game. And that's what I pleaded my case as, is I've been good at these challenges. I have a solid social game. I've been on the winning side of a lot of these things. And so despite that, they still sent me out knowing the risk. And so, I think what's going to happen now, hopefully, is, if we do lose, I'm actually in a great spot. So tomorrow is kind of a win-win for me. Either we win the challenge, I'm back on the team, can build those relationships and maybe take them a little bit further. David will eventually find out that I cost him his vote, but at the same time, I had to pick somebody on the team to do that, and it wasn't going to be anybody else because, that's just how it is. So, I'm still in this game. I still feel strong about my position. I still have half a compass. Wish I didn't share that with David, but at the same time, I think now if we lose tomorrow, I think he'll be the one out. So, and he's one of the few people that know outside of Mike that I have a compass. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but it's going to be pretty exciting. So, as our main man always says, good night.